Hello everyone, hope everyone's having a great day. It's Jay, and we're back with the final part of our season predictions video, our standing predictions for the 23-24 NHL season. We're finishing it off with the Atlantic Division, finishing the Eastern Conference, and finishing the series of videos. I've really enjoyed doing this. If you guys have liked this series, make sure you hit the like button and let me know down in the comments. But we're going to jump into the Atlantic Division. Just to start, full disclosure, I'm recording this video Sunday night. It's actually Sunday night, so the season is almost a week in by the time of this recording. But like I said in the previous parts, I wanted to do this series instead of not doing it at all. I don't think the first week has really changed my predictions all that much. But without further ado, thank you guys for being here. Let's jump into this. We're going to go from the 8th slot team to the first place team in this division. And in 8th place for the Atlantic Division, I have my very own Montreal Canadiens. So last year Montreal had a really bad year. You know, the past couple of years they have, but they're on their way up. They're getting better, and I like the way this team's running. As a fan of this team, it's easy to be excited for the future with good young talent coming up. You know, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield are really coming into their own. We got David Reinbacher. Our defense is set. David Reinbacher, 5th overall pick last year. Logan Mailloux coming up. Lane Hudson. Lots of great defensemen. And I love the defense we have on the team right now. And Jordan Harris, Jonathan Kovacevic, Arbor Xhekaj is a beauty. Caden Gooley is going to be a great top 4, maybe a top 2 defenseman on this team for a long time. The defense is looking great. Up front, Kirby Dach and Alex Newhook have been projects that have worked out so well. They are A++ projects, and they spent very little time on them. They are great. Juraj has looked really good to start the season, much better than last year. You know, people are a little down on him. You know, the next year's first overall pick's Connor Bedard. I'm still high on Slavkovsky, though. I think he's going to be a great player on this team. There's lots to talk about. The goaltending is iffy, though, but we're not talking about the future. I got on a little tangent there. My apologies. It's my team. I like to talk about them. We're talking about this year, and this year they're just not there yet. They're just not there. They don't have the goaltending. Their talented players don't have the experience yet, and a lot of those guys aren't even with the team yet, or some of those guys anyways. They're just in a stacked Atlantic Division. They're finishing in 8th, but they're going to have a much better year than last year. And Marty St. Louis is the coach. I would run through a wall for that man. Love me some Marty St. Louis. But Montreal is 8th. I think that's where everyone's going to have them. I don't see them beating out any other teams in the Atlantic, but they're going to have a better year, and they're going to be fun to watch. In 7th, I know some people might not like this pick, but I picked it, the Detroit Red Wings. Everyone's saying, you know, follow the Yzer plan. I got no idea what the Yzer plan is. I have no idea what he's doing. It just seems like a mess over there to me. They got some older veterans and some young guys, and it doesn't seem like a good mix. Like, what are they doing on that back end? You don't need, Ben Sherratt, Justin Hall, you gave a big contract to. Olimata, these aren't bad players, but they're not fitting the style that I think you need to have to be successful. I know they got Mort Seider, and he's going to carry the load back there on defense, and he's going to do a great job with it, but I'm just not seeing, you know, where it's going. Alex DeBrincat's going to help them a lot. That's good. That's a great pickup for them at a really good price for Ottawa, to be honest. But I just don't see how it's all fitting together yet. You know, I could be wrong, and I'd be okay if Steve Yzerman proved me wrong. I'm a big Steve Yzerman fan. I don't see how it's all working together. It's not making sense to me. There's a whole bunch of puzzle pieces, but none of them go to the same puzzle. You can't fit them together. They're not working. You can't put them together to make something successful, in my opinion, in Detroit. But I know they have some good young players coming up, obviously, Elver Soderblom, and they have lots of other talent there. I know I'm missing guys, but they have some talent coming out there. I'm not seeing how it's all working together, so I have the Detroit Red Wings in 7th place in the division. Finishing 6th, which again is probably another shock, I have the Florida Panthers. Stanley Cup finalists last year, and they did surprise us, and I know, hey, look at what they did last year. How can you ever bet against them again? I'm betting against them right now. They've got a lot of injuries to start the season, most notably to Aaron Ekblad, and there's another defenseman there. Is it Gustav Forsling, who's also out hurt? Can't quite remember. There are 2 defensemen out hurt to start the season, and they lost Radko Gudas. I'm not a big Gudas fan, but, you know, he was good for them. You can't deny that. Matthew Tkachuk up front is going to be great. I think Alexander Barkov, you know, he's a great, steady player. You know what you're getting for him. I don't think he's underrated anymore. He can't be underrated for a decade, but I think he's going to be steady for them. They've got pieces. Sam Bennett is also starting the year hurt. They just got a lot of injuries, and I don't think they can replicate the magic. Alex Lyon, who is now in Detroit, I know it was Bobrovsky that carried them through the playoff rounds, but Lyon was the reason they got into the playoffs in the first place. So they don't have pieces there they did before. Some of their pieces are hurt now. I'm not saying they got lucky last year. They pulled that out of their ass, and good for them. They did a great job. I just don't think they can do it again, and I don't think they got better at all. So I have the Florida Panthers in 6th place. In 5th place, I have the Ottawa Senators. So Ottawa's going to be a great team for years to come. I keep saying that, but there's so much good young talent around the league. Apologize if I get repetitive, but there's just so much talent out there. But I have Ottawa in 5th. They have some problems. Pierre Dorian's put them in cap hell to begin the season. They can't sign Pinto, which is a big problem. Josh Norris is he hurt? Is he not? We don't really know yet. He's not going out on LTIR, but he hasn't played, and he needs to be playing and playing well and healthy for them to be the best team they can be, obviously. And we don't know where that's at. I think Korpisalo is a great pickup for them in goal. I think he's going to be a really good goalie for them. He could be the goalie of the future potentially. Locked him up for 5 years. I think that's a good pickup. I like that. They have so much good pieces. Ridley Gregg has really come into his own in there. Rook Chartier, I believe that's how you say his name. He's looked really good, at a good preseason starting the year with them. And then, obviously Tim Stützle's a top-end guy. Same with Brady Tkachuk. Not to the same extent. Stützle's, going to be a 100-point player this year. I'm calling it. He's so good. They locked up Jake Sanderson. Chychrun's been great for them to start the year. And you got Thomas Chabot back there locking it up. So they've got great pieces. And I think they're going to be doing very well. There are issues around there. They don't have Pinto in the lineup. He needs to be there. Norris's injuries is we don't know, and he needs to be there and healthy for them to be the best team they can be. Their center of Stützle, Norris, Pinto, Gregg is fantastic. That is any team in the league would want those 1 to 4 centers. But right now, they've only got 2 of those 4, and that's a problem. That's a problem for them. I think they're going to be much better. I want the Sens to be great. And I think they're right there on the cusp. There's just some things holding them back, as I listed. So that's why I have them in 5th place. 4th place, I have the Buffalo Sabres. Now, I almost put them higher. I think Buffalo is going to be a hard team for anyone to beat in the entire league. And I almost put them higher. I just couldn't just yet. We have to see how it all goes together to make sure all these young pieces finally are able to take that next step. Not finally, there's young players, but I mean the team to finally take the next step, and for these players to put it together. But I think they can. Dylan Cousins is going to be great. Tage Thompson came out of nowhere a few years ago, and he's one of the best players in the league. I think Devin Levi is a big question mark in net for them, not in the sense of his ability, but in the sense of if he isn't quite there yet, if he doesn't quite take the step the team needs him to take this year, then the team will not be able to take as big a step forward as they would like. But if Devin Levi can be the goalie we all think he is and all hope he is, especially Buffalo, then they're going to be golden. They're going to be golden. Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, both signed, in my opinion, fantastic extensions. I know Dahlin got $11 million a year. Worth it. He's going to be worth it. I'm telling you guys, he's going to be worth it. He signed it young, and Power, 8.2535, I don't know. That is a fantastic deal. That is insane that they got that deal done, in my opinion. They have so much young pieces there. JJ Peterka, Alex Tuck is there, is looking good. I know Jack Quinn's out injured. That hurts, but they have so much around the team that I think they can do it. No problem. I'm really high on Buffalo. There are just a few question marks, mainly in net. Devin Levi is coming in young, and I think that's okay. I think he's going to be great for them, but we can't say for sure yet. But I think Buffalo's making the playoffs this year, and I almost put them higher. If they finish higher, it would not shock me in the least, and I'll be so happy for them. But I have them in 4th place in my division rankings. Third place, I have the Tampa Bay Lightning. I almost switched Tampa Bay and Buffalo. A big reason is Tampa Bay doesn't really have a goalie right now. Andrei Vasilevsky is hurt, and he's hurt for a couple months, and that's going to hurt them quite a lot. He's been one of the best, if not the best, goaltenders in the league for a couple years now, if not more, 5, 6, half a decade, maybe getting close to a decade now. And I think that's a big loss for them, obviously. I think Stamkos is coming out, and he's coming out mad, and he's going to just have a career year. I don't know if I can say he's going to have a career year when, He's over 30 and he's been one of the best players in the league his whole time. But he is mad that he doesn't have a contract extension. He's going to go out there and show it to the management, show it to the general manager that he belongs here and that he should have paid him. And now it's going to be a problem. But, you know, with all the pieces they have around and some of the young players they have coming up and all the veteran talent that just isn't getting worse, they are still a problem. They are still, they are angry. They are still going for the cup. And I think you can't count against Tampa Bay. I have them finishing in 3rd place. 2nd place in the division, I have the Boston Bruins. This was a tough one because Boston had literally the best year in franchise history last year, and they're not going to be able to replicate that. Now that Bergeron's gone and Krejci, there is center depth needed. But I think players like Zaka and Coyle are going to come up, and they're going to be very good in those center positions, and it's not going to hurt them too much. But, you're not going to have another franchise year. You're going to drop a lot in points, in my opinion, and that's still going to be good enough for 2nd. Easy. They're still going to make the playoffs. They've shown us that we can't count them out either. We all thought, okay, I can't say we all, I definitely thought, and I know others thought with me, that last year would be the year that they maybe miss the playoffs, that they, or at least, show a steady decline now that their players are getting older. Nope, best year ever, literally. And so I'm not counting against them this time. They're going to finish in 2nd place in the Atlantic's. Marchand's captain there. He's still going to be doing Marchand things. Still 2 fantastic goaltenders. The tandem of Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman is fantastic. They're going to be good, and you are not going to want to play Boston. They're still going to finish in 2nd in the division and be a force to reckon with in the playoffs. And they're coming back angry because remember, they were up on Florida and they lost. They blew it. They didn't just lose, they blew it. So they're coming back angry, and they still have a ton of talent there. Pasternak is Pasternak, and they just have so many steady players that they are going to be a problem to play every night, and they play like a problem too. So I have them finishing in 2nd. 1st place in the Atlantic Division, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again. I'm recording this Sunday night. The season has started. Toronto has played 2 games. One on Wednesday against the Montreal Canadiens where they won 5-4 in shootout. And one Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada, where they beat the Minnesota Wild 7-4. In those 2 games, Austin Matthews has 6 goals. He has 2 hat tricks in 2 games to start the season. Does that sway my predictions? No. I'm telling you right now, I would have still had Toronto in 1st place in the division. But, with that information, I can use it to justify my point. And he's looked unstoppable this year. That's not even talking about William Nylander. William Nylander was insane too. Toronto should just sign William Nylander to 1-year contracts for the next decade, so he's always playing in a contract year, and he just goes out there full beast mode. He just takes over games. This team has looked so good. So good. Ilya Samsonov played the first 2 games. I'm a little scared on him. He's been a little shaky, a little nervous about Samsonov, but I'm a big believer in Joseph Woll. I think you can set Ilya Samsonov aside. He can be the backup. I'm telling you right now, Joseph Woll is ready to be an NHL number 1 goalie. I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. But you have both, and Ilya Samsonov can still stop pucks. Their defense is also a little shaky too. Klingberg has looked really good, and Timmins had that insane preseason until he got hurt. But I just don't know. Giordano's old, and he should not be playing every game. You got to sit him at least half the games, to be honest. Liljegren, I think he'd be a good defender in the NHL, but he's looked shaky to start the season, and he looked shaky to end last season too. Even TJ Brody's looked shaky, and he's normally very steady. But you have players that can just put it in the net. Ryan Reeves out there causing some problems. Even Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi bringing some grit and some firepower. This team is good. Fraser Minton, Matthew Nyes have come in, 2 rookies, and they look just fine in the NHL. Minton did start the first game a little slow, but he's picked it up, and I think he's looked fine going forward. They are a big problem to play. They can score. They can now hit. Again, their goaltending is a little shaky, but they'll just outscore you. It doesn't matter. They will just send Matthews out there, and he'll get a hat trick every game. He's on pace for 246 goals this season. I'm not even joking. 2 games in. I know it's only 2 games in. He is literally on pace for 246 goals. Wild. Will it keep up? We'll see. 200 goals? Not out of the question. Not yet, anyways. You can't tell me otherwise. But they look great. They're going to be a problem. Is this their year? Is this their year? I think it might be. I think it might be. Last player to get 2 hat tricks to start the season? Alex Ovechkin. Yeah, it makes sense. 17-18. Okay, it was good then. Yeah, so good they won the cup that year. I'm just saying. Matthews, now 2 hat tricks for the start of the season? Could be. Could be. Last time it happened before Ovechkin was like 3 players that I've never heard of in like 1917. Like, this doesn't happen. Over 100 years ago. Just saying. And this is coming from a Habs fan too. The Leafs look dangerous. If you're a Leafs fan, you should be pumped to watch this team this year. Maybe they won't disappoint you. Maybe they won't break your heart. I'm predicting they'll win the Atlantic. That doesn't matter. It's all about the playoffs. But this is not about the playoffs, this video. This is about the regular season. I have the Toronto Maple Leafs finishing first in the Atlantic. And that is my season prediction videos, the standing predictions I have for the Atlantic Division. That finishes off the NHL. Hope you guys enjoyed these videos. If you did, make sure you hit the like on this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/JayShooe. Let me know what other NHL content you'd like to see from me. I'd be happy to oblige. But until then, have a great rest of your day. Peace out.